Hey everybody, I hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to our 100% Ironman playthrough here in Warlords Battlecry 3. And as you can probably tell just from the very strange title and the very strange thumbnail, this is going to be a bit of a, well, not a bit, it's going to be a very strange episode. But before we get to the strangeness, you'll notice I've got another... Whenever I start a game and if you see a hero with a nonsense name like this, chances are what has happened is in between episodes I've probably been doing some sort of testing that I didn't want to do with my permadeath Iron Man hero. Let's keep this guy alive for a while. We won't delete him just yet. Let's go in with Kaz, go with you. Let's set our keys. Let's take a quick look at the state of our hero. So last episode, we did some regular grinding, or did we... I think we either did some regular grinding or... It's been a few days since I recorded it, but one of the things that happened over the last couple episodes is that we hit 3,000 for spells cast, but we did not hit the final rank. And one thing I mentioned in passing was that we would, or that I would consider making a custom map for me to safely grind spells in. And that is exactly what I did in between episodes. And
your troops are under attack. An enemy hero has
once we're
been
done with this warm-up joust, I'm gonna...
An enemy hero has been
Lots of
destroyed.
fire spells being cast. Once we're done with this warm-up joust,
Hero is under attack.
we
Hero
will
is destroyed.
sure that all our stuff is equipped. It's medium speed, right? Yeah. Yeah, it was probably just me not looking at it properly, but for a moment it seemed like my hero was moving slow.
Has been vanquished.
Oh, but except we already have this entire set. So
An enemy has been vanquished.
the fact that we're finding that item means that this set, not only is it something that you get from those special missions in the Srathi areas, you know, the Kuatal set. So not only can you get it from there, but you can also find it.
You are victorious.
And my suspicion is that every single item is also in the pool of things that you can find. That nothing is truly just a quest reward and nothing else. No, we're talking about this set, of course. But we'll hold on to it for a bit. Although now that we know that this item is if you hover over it, it tells you the complete set bonus. You don't need to actually be in mission to see it. Alright. Let me actually just take a look through our items. Oops. Well, ignore that. I guess I thought the scan was supposed to run at 3 a.m., but something must have been stopping it from running at that time. Never mind. That's kind of thrown me a little bit. So before I go in, I want to see, is there... Wait, what was this? Pillar of Fire. That's actually kind of useful. Resurrection, 10% chance per hit. Soul Flame, or Godly Power. So I'll actually take this. And then this can go in place of this, maybe. Basically, I want to give myself very high chances of casting any sort of spell. And I don't think we have any helmets. What we can do is we can check the market quickly. No, nothing there. But there's also something in Enmouth, right? Enmouth. However you would want to pronounce that. Let's check the market here. The Grand Market. No, okay. Nothing there that is enabling us to cast spells either. Okay, now enough dilly-dallying. Let me just quickly check that we have all the items. Okay, we have this. I can replace my armor with this. We have this. I can replace either of these two items. And in fact, I'll probably replace it because I'll want to lower my damage. And... also, oh god, I also want to... this is a bit of a tricky situation. I want to lower my spellcast, sorry, not my spellcasting, my damage, but I'm literally out of space. And all of the items that I can equip in place of the Vorpal Sword are also giving damage. I guess the Staff of Zur is the safest thing. Because I lower my damage a little bit, I lower my crit chance. And maybe we can do something with 3 points in Necromancy. We'll see. We'll see. Everything else is fine. Okay. I'll equip this. And replace that with this. And the rest of it seems fine. Heal Self, Resurrection, Pillar of Fire, Stone Skin are going to be the spells that will be cast. And they are going to be cast in... You've already seen a preview of it in the thumbnail. This special map that I've made called Wall-to-Wall Walls. Well, it's important that I be the red player and our enemy is going to be the blue. The rest of it doesn't matter. Rules, you know, we can do whatever we want. Well, I mean, there are certain things we could do that would ruin it, like if we made it Battle of the Titans, or if we started giving our people, like if we started giving the enemy retinue units. That would potentially ruin it. And I'll explain what I mean by all of this as we go inside. So this map, this is what you saw in the thumbnail, like kind of like this part of the map. And you saw the test hero that I made in the corner. I took that screenshot just because I liked that shot of him raising his sword in the air, you know, in his idle animation. So this is the map, right? This map just has hundreds of wall segments, and it's got the enemy hero walled in as well. Now, why have I made this map? It is because this is gonna allow me to farm spells, essentially. And I can even cast Raise Zombie, Raise Skeleton for a 42% chance. Or Black Portal. Oh, but I've got to manually select Black Portal. Well, how about just raise zombie? Oh, except the zombies are gonna be annoyingly attacking the walls as well. So you see the gist of what I'm trying to accomplish here, right? Huh. It seems like... It seems like the mana isn't deducted until the spell is successfully cast. Now the downside to all of this is well, it's gonna take a long time, and it's, you know, not exactly gripping viewing. But just for this first instance, I will, like, it's gonna feel like it's taking a lot longer than it actually is. In reality, it'll be a few minutes, and then all of these walls are gonna be destroyed. And while they're being destroyed, I'll talk about, well, a lot of it is self-explanatory. What might be less obvious is why I feel the need to grind spells at all. Why not just let it happen naturally? And, well, my answer to that is I'm just doing this out of precaution, because spells only count when your hero casts them, right? And because of that, I worry that if we don't have this thing maxed out, excuse me, that I'll do something dumb in some battle, like I'll send my hero out to fight some really large army for no other purpose than I'll be like, oh, maybe we'll farm a couple spells out of this, and I'll get my hero killed doing that. Now, it's unlikely to happen, but I just know it's the kind of thing that I am, it's the kind of thing that I am likely to do. Now, one of these spells seems to have a very long duration, and when it gets cast, it prevents spellcasting for quite a while. And I think it's Pillar of Fire. Actually, no, it's Resurrection, I think. So let's go back to our items. And let's replace this thing with this thing. So instead of the Resurrection, we will do the Soul Flame instead. And that should... See, the thing is, the cool... So, sometimes after you cast a spell, actually, I think every single time, this bar appears on top of your hero, and then it says recovered. And the reason it does that is because this portal just doesn't want to be cast. The reason it does that is because, I guess, at some point they implemented a cooldown for spells, and the more powerful spells have longer cooldowns. And the problem with that, as you perhaps can guess, is given what I'm trying to do here, if a spell has a really long cooldown, my hero might destroy an entire wall segment before the cooldown has ended, essentially wasting that wall segment and not getting any spell out of it, which might lower the number of spells that we get out of it somewhat. See, and I want to maximize the spells we get out of this. Ideally, maybe even multiple spells per wall segment, although that won't always happen. Sometimes you might even have 0 spells in a given wall segment. Like, happened a couple times there. But by and large, we should expect at least 1 spell for most of these wall segments. And the question is gonna be, after we're done smashing all of these walls, how many spells is this gonna give us? Now what I'm gonna do is, this first one I'm gonna show all, like I'm gonna record all of it, I'm gonna show all of it, but for then subsequent ones, I am going to skip to the end and I'll just show you how many spells we got out of it. And I think that's probably the best way to go about this. To go about this very strange thing that we're doing in this episode. But I do believe that this, if your goal is simply to cast spells and do nothing else, like you have no other aspirations for the... There we go, finally we got something. And hey, look at that. It even raised our... It even seems to have raised our population capacity, so we could even summon more zombies if we wanted. Tell you what. Let's see. Oh hey, look at this. I wonder if that counts as 2 spells cast when it summons 2 zombies. There's a lot about the spell schools in this game that I don't know. Just because I mainly just play as melee characters and not, you know, spellcasting types. Okay, you know what? Let's get this segment of walls destroyed first, and then we'll go... Oh, hey, look at this guy. He's been pretty busy himself. Summoning all kinds of undead of his own. I guess it's our bad luck that he started as a Death Knight. I really hope his guys don't start spawning outside, because then they could start causing some troubles for us. Hey, where did our portal go? It's when we're summoning zombies, it's not... Well, this time it deducted the mana, but it seemed that a lot of the time it wasn't deducting the mana until after we summoned the things. Wait. What did I... Stand ground, stand ground. Stand your ground, guys. Alright. What there's actually not that much left. Now, one other thing I should point out. You may be wondering why I only filled half of the map with walls and then stopped. The reason is because the game wouldn't let me put any more. It turns out that there is essentially... My guess is that there is essentially a hard limit to the number of structures that any one side can have on the map. at any one time. And like I got to this part of the map and I tried putting more walls down. By the way, when you're in when you're like in an actual game, then you can click and drag to place walls. But when you're in the map editor, you cannot do that. You have to place them down individually. So each of these wall segments you saw, each of them took their own individual click for me to put them down. So just bear that in mind when you know, think about like spare a thought for the amount of time that it took. It actually didn't even take that long. It was like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes of work. But it would be annoying anytime I clicked, you know, slightly off and the wall segment wouldn't exactly line up. Then I'd have to delete it. So that was a bit irritating, but eventually we got it done, and then we got to this point, and then it just stopped letting me put in any new things. Oh yeah, it's not letting me summon any more zombies because I have too many things. See, that time it didn't deduct the mana. Oh, because I was still recovering from. Ah, I see. Because sometimes I'm casting it while I'm still recovering. I see what's going on. Yeah, it's not gonna let me summon anymore. But maybe if I do this? No. And I think this is gonna disappear before the next one can be summoned. Like before I hit 8 mana. Or maybe not, we'll see. We'll see. Let's get rid of this segment. Alright, let's see if we can do another. There we go. Oh, but it didn't raise our capacity. I see. Yeah, the spellcasting recovery is a weird thing. Because I don't know if I would have implemented it this way, that any spell then prevents you from casting every spell until the thing passes. I think maybe it'd be better if it only stops you from casting that specific spell. That way, you know, it will still have the effect of, like, you can't spam powerful spells, but not like, oh, like, you cast this one spell and now, like, you can't heal, like, you can't summon zombies. That's a bit... That, I think, is a bit much. Yes, there we go. And we're not going to bother fighting this hero just because we don't have our proper fighting gear on us. Now that we've smashed all this stuff, I guess if we really wanted to, we could attack our own zombies. But that's not really going to be an effective way to get spells just because they're all dying in one hit each, you know. It's not a thing. It's really going to be too helpful for us, so we're just gonna resign, and this is what we're gonna look at. 346. That is what I like to see. That means if this number remains, it's only gonna take 2 more to reach 4,000, and in fact, it's only gonna take 1 more to reach 3,500. So I tell you what, I won't make you watch the whole thing again, right? We'll do this. We'll destroy all of these walls, and what I will do is I will skip to the end of the map. And then once we're done, we will look at our statistics, and then we'll take things from there. All right? So I will see you guys in a bit. Okay, we're not done yet. I just wanted to show this interesting thing. It looks like our hero is caught in a bit of a... Well, for a while he was caught in between a loop. I guess he was exactly equidistant between all possible attack points, but then somehow he became closer. I didn't give him any orders. Like, he snapped out of it himself. At some point he must have gotten like 1 pixel closer to one of them and then snapped out of his indecision. But you know what? I feel that. It happens to me all the time. Like, if especially if like if I'm walking and my usual route is blocked, right? Like they're doing construction or something, and then I have to take in. It seems to be happening again. And if I have to take an alternate route, I'll often then spend more time thinking about which route will be shorter than the time it would take to just pick a random one and walk, right? So, like, I'm not, you know, walking back and forth dramatically like Kaz here, but like in my mind, I'm basically doing that same thing. So, I know how he feels. Anyway, hopefully that doesn't happen too much. But yes, that was just a funny little thing I wanted to point out. So, you know, let's skip again. I'll skip, hopefully this time to the end. Hopefully we don't have any more, you know, amusing mishaps for the rest of this spell grinding session. That's right, I'll see you in a bit. Alright, we're almost done. Almost done. I just realized with all these walls, I forgot to make the obvious, you know, the Berlin Wall joke. Like, what's this guy? Mr. Zuruk. Mr. Zuruk, open this gate. Tear down this wall. Alright. Now that I've gotten that out of my system, we can resign and hopefully even more spells. Hopefully this is enough. Oh, and thematically appropriate. We could even bring a dwarf lord into our party. Is that enough? It still isn't enough. We're gonna have to do one more. Gonna have to do one more. Hopefully one more. Hopefully it isn't 5,000. But in case it is 5,000, I will do one full run of this. Right, one full run. You can be just whatever. Is there anything that's gonna help us? No, because our hero needs to be the one destroying everything. Is there such a thing as tough walls? Does tough starting towers affect walls? It doesn't really matter because it's too late now. I think this is gonna be fine. So once again, I'm just gonna let this run on autopilot for a while. I'm just gonna get my book, read my book for a bit, and I will talk to you when this is done. All right? I'll see you in a bit. All right, we're soon coming to the end. Well, a few more things to kill. Meanwhile, our opponent hero is still trapped in this little prison, summoning earth elementals, but he's quickly run out of space to do that. I mean, he's casting stuff, but I think they're just not even spawning in because, like, there's no space for it. So he's just forever trapped in this hole. I mean, he could let himself out if he was intelligent enough to attack his own buildings, but he's not, so really, we don't have to feel too bad for him because it's his own lack of creative thinking that is keeping him trapped in there. Anyway, let's end this one And almost 400 spells. Alright. Is this gonna be enough to put us over? Let's take a look. And yes, it is finally done. Another title maxed out. We are the Elder of the Mages Council. Fantastic. I don't think we're gonna end this episode quite just yet. This might end up being a very weird and very short episode. Like, short in comparison to some of the other ones that we've had. But I am not ready for it to end just yet. You know what? Go to the, not hero information, go to the item stash. Because now we've got to start fixing. Royal Rumel is what we want. We've got to start fixing our stuff. Vorpal Sword is what we want. Orb of Etheria. At this point, what we could do is, this is what we had equipped. This gives us a bit more damage, a bit more combat, and the chance to occasionally get resist fire cast. However, I think the better option is to replace it with the Orb of Godly Power. Just for the flat HP bonus. This gives us a bit of security against things that might kill us suddenly, which is, you know, the main big threat that we have. Also, now that we know that the Stones of Quattle are something that we can find, I'm gonna sell these because it'll give us a bit of space to put something else. And what 100% spellcasting? What does this give? The skull thing. The Triad of Skulls. 20 Necromancy. That sounds more interesting, actually. So I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna sell this. The Stones of Quattle. If we really wanted another one, we could always just reset the campaign and get it again. So in that sense, they aren't even true like one-time only finds, but like one time per campaign, let's say. But we know that they can be found now, also not exclusively through the campaign mission, but also through other things as well. Alright, what I'm gonna do in the rest of this episode is we're gonna be killing some heroes. We're gonna be doing some jousts. Specifically, we're gonna get from 441 to 450, and I wanna see, does that put us in a new rank? I'm just curious. So let's do a bit of a jousting action. Hang on, before we do some jousting action, we do have space to pick stuff up. I'm gonna leave the Fire Giant's Horn in there. Yeah, looks good to me. Or, you know what, let's put the Staff of Skulls in there. And Fire Giant's Horn, in case we need resist fire. Like, if we're fighting a lot of fire-type enemies and we want that as an option, we can have that in our inventory, you know, kind of the best of both worlds. But yeah, let's do 3 jousts. And for now, I will be doing them fully. By that I mean killing all the heroes. Actually, no. What I'll be doing is,
Your troops are under attack.
because we're done farming spells, I'll be... God, these guys are summoning all kinds of nonsense. Because we're done farming spells,
An enemy hero has been destroyed.
all I'll be doing is
An enemy hero has been
killing the
destroyed.
heroes and seeing what items they drop, and then actually
An enemy hero has been destroyed.
we may as well win, because we do need to win a lot of battles for that other title. But the trouble with it is that it ends up taking longer.
An enemy has been
But
vanquished. An enemy has been
for
vanquished.
this brief exercise, though, I do think I'll just wait, cause you know it's gonna be a bit of a short episode otherwise anyway. And while we're doing it, we can also take a look at a few more item drops, cause you know what?
You are victorious.
Even if you've already got the best gear, looking through loot is just an inherently fun and satisfying thing to do. So, are we gonna get attacked by griffins? No, we're not. So let's just do another joust. We gotta do 2 more to reach 450. And again, we gotta check every time. Are there any assassins? We got Paladin, Paladin, Necromancer. Let's kill the Paladins first,
Your troops are
'cause
under attack. An enemy hero
they're
has been destroyed.
kind of warrior type heroes. And then we'll
An enemy hero
kill
has been
you
destroyed.
as well. You didn't have anything exciting. And then where's the final one? There?
Your troops are under attack.
It's up here? Where is he? Where is he? Where'd this guy go?
An enemy hero has been
Oh.
destroyed.
I guess he was up there. Couldn't see him. Anyway, let's get these killed.
An enemy has been vanquished.
Hopefully we get a
An enemy has been vanquished.
quick acknowledgement of our victory. Any second now. There we go. There we go.
You are
We
victorious.
are victorious. And let's do one more, and then we'll check our titles, and then I think we will end this episode. Because even if it hasn't been that long for you, it has been not super long, but fairly long-ish for me, doing all those spell... Well, I mean, 3 spell farming runs. So, you know,
Your troops are under an enemy.
I very graciously didn't make you sit through all of them, but, you know, because of the way the universe works, because of the way time works, I couldn't exactly skip those from, like, they still had to be done, right? So,
An enemy hero has
what I'm trying to say is, I think I am kind of done with my sort of quota for how much I can play, especially because I'm doing this before heading to work, right? So I've got to draw the line somewhere, and I think this is going to be a good point to draw that line, especially if after this we find that we've gotten yet another title for ourselves. I want to see what this item is. Quickly. Good. No, it's not. In fact, I think it's the same thing as what this thing was, except I don't think we're going to be able to check this one again, because before we get there, yeah, and once this screen pops up, you can't really interact with anything else. Okay. Okay. Now the last thing we're gonna do is, let's take a look at our hero. Do we get another? We don't. So we hit 450, and we didn't get another rank. So my suspicion is that 500 is the magic number. Anyway, we'll get to it when we get to it. For now, let's recap what we did. What we did was we started at just over 3,000 spells cast. We went into this custom map that I made, and for this one I will use my... Actually, no, I might as well just go in with Kaz again, just to show you this madness that I made. So this map, I'm actually pretty satisfied with having, excuse me, with having come up with this solution, because I'm like, okay, what is a way for my hero to safely cast a lot of spells? Because previously, because my only way of casting spells was as a percentage chance when I hit things, I was getting a lot of my spells cast through actual combat against actual enemies, which often results in actual danger. And I wanted a way to get those spells cast without that danger. Cheesy, yes, but once again, its effectiveness cannot be denied. And so that problem ended up prompting me to come up with this solution. And this is one reason why I love playing games in sort of challenge mode situations, right? Like the most excuse me, the most obvious example is speed runs, but like other like no hit, no damage kind of things. Obviously this exercise that we're doing isn't as extreme as any of those, but nonetheless similar to those, similar to speed runs where you end up doing really unusual things and playing the game in really unusual ways. It's kind of giving me that same feeling. Now, we're not exploiting glitches or anything. We're just using the map editor. We're it's just that we're using the map editor in a way that, were it not for this goal, no sane person would ever do that, right? Like look at this. This is less of a map for a, you know, real-time strategy game, and more of just like an abstract, like a work of postmodern art, like just walls and nothing else. The only reason something like this exists is because I needed it as a solution for my problem of how am I gonna safely cast spells, right? And this is my way of saying, like, I like it when games have things that force you to think in different ways and make you come up with solutions that you would have never even come close to thinking of were it not for that one thing that the game was requiring you to do. But anyway, that's just me sharing a bit about my thought process, about my philosophy for gaming in general. But yes, the important thing practically in this episode is that we're done. We never have to see this map ever again, but I'm gonna keep it, right? I'm not gonna delete it like I deleted the old versions of my, kill farming maps. I just got rid of those and brought better ones in. I'm just gonna keep this one for posterity. This map with its weird layout, with its weird name, it's just gonna stay as a reminder for just how strange and yet how fun and how satisfying gaming in general can be. And with that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna get rid of this guy just because ultimately I want Kaz to be the only hero around, and the other testing heroes, they're only there for testing purposes only. And when the testing is done, they get deleted. And if I need to do more testing, I'll make a new hero. But for now, you know, Kaz is the only one for me, so that's how it's gonna stay. But anyway, that is gonna be all for this episode. Once again, we have maxed out yet another title. We never have to farm spells ever again, which is gonna make things pretty straightforward, because in our next kill grinding map, it'll literally be kills and only kills, right? We won't have to worry about spells. It'll make that go a bit quicker, a bit more straightforward. And we also killed a few enemy heroes. We didn't hit another rank, but you know, all the kills that we get nonetheless are bringing us closer to whatever we need for that final rank. So that's good as well. But yes, next episode, I think what we're gonna do is, I'm almost ready to start advancing the main quest, you know, the main quest that has been on hold for like 30 videos now. I'm almost ready to start doing that, but I think I'm gonna do one more kill farming episode before we get that, just because I want to hit 50,000, right? I want to see if maybe this is gonna give us another rank up something. But anyway, yes, that is gonna be all for this episode. And a strange one, yes, but I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you'll join me for the next episode as well. And until then, take care.